Welcome back to our tutorial on images and processing. In this tutorial we're going to add a couple of characters, a deer and a rabbit, on top of our background. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, we'll need to create an instance of each of these animals. So we'll say use the PImage class, and we'll say deer 1 and PImage deer 2 and PImage rabbit. Before we started this, I went out and got a picture, an icon of a PNG file of a rabbit and a couple of different deers. And so I'm going to put them in this sketch on top of my background image of a forest. Alright, so I've created an instance of PImage for each of these characters. Now I need to load them. So under setup, I'm going to type in deer1 is equal to load image, and then I'm going to use that file name. So I'm going to say deer1.png, close parentheses, and then close the quotes, and then close the parentheses and close the semicolon. And then I'm going to do the fawn deer, so deer2 is equal to load image, the file name underscore dot, and this is an SVG, so we'll see how that goes. And then the rabbit is rabbit1 is equal to load image, and it's just alright, bbit.png. Okay, then in the draw method, we need to place these characters on the screen. So I'm going to go and say deer1 or image deer1, and then I'm going to place them somewhere on the screen. So I'm going to say that the rabbit is probably down at the bottom of the forest, but in the back. And I know the height is 540, so I'm going to say 400. Oh, let's see, this is the deer, so I'll say 500, and actually the width goes first. So 160, I'll place them on the right, left, and then 500 at the bottom. Close the parentheses, close the semicolon. And we can go ahead and let's run these, see what we get. We have an error. Welcome to this processing tutorial. In this one, I'm going to show you how to add an icon or character on top of your image, and then also how to resize the image and place the image on the screen in different positions. Okay, so we're going to start with our basic background image folder with a forest. This time I'm going to need to create an instance of PImage for the deer. So I've already gone out and gotten the deer that I wanted to use as my image and put it in the background file folder here for this sketch. So all I have to do is say PImage and say deer1, and then I'm going to go down here into setup and say deer1 is equal to load image. I'm going to pass in the name of the file, which I call deer1.png. I want to try to stick with PNGs rather than JPEGs. PNGs don't have the white background on them, and allow the background that you've put up to show through. Alright, and then I need to draw that deer on the screen, so I'm going to say image deer1, comma 120, and I'll place it at 300 height-wise, and end with the parentheses and semicolon. So let's go ahead and run this to see it's correct. So good. So our deer is in the foreground. Okay, so now let's say we want to use the same deer, but add him in the background to add some perspective. So again, we go to the top and we say PImage deer 2. And then down here in setup, we'd say deer 2 is equal to load image and deer 1. We're still using the deer 1 image, so it's still deer1.png. And close the quotes, close parentheses, and semicolon. And then down here, when I'm drawing it, I'm going to say image deer 2 this time. I'm going to change the location to 470 and 380. And end it with parentheses and a semicolon. So let's go ahead and run this, and you can see you'll have 2 deers. This one's partly off the screen. So we can adjust him, and we can also resize him. So let's say I want him height-wise. That's interesting. Height-wise, he should be up in the middle because he's 380, and the height is 540. So it's strange that he's down at the bottom so far. We can do 280 and run it and see what we get. Now he's farther up. And something is interfering with the deer. Anyway, so let's run it. Now he's a little too high. Let's try 120. Position him right where we want him. And then if we want him to look like he's off in the distance, we can resize the deer. So we could say, up here, after we've loaded deer 2, we could say deer2.resize. And I want to make the deer just 75 by 75. So it just happened that image was a square icon image. And then I can run it again. Now deer 2 is up there, so we just need to move him down so it looks like he's back in the forest. So let's go ahead on the height and change it to 300. See where that puts us. A little bit more. So maybe 320. And now it looks like that deer is off in background. And so you could continue doing this over and over again with a number of deer to make a herd. Let's do it once more. So we have PImage deer 3, and then we'll load deer 3 is equal to load image. Still using the same deer picture, so deer1.png, close the quotes, close parentheses, close semicolon. And then down in here at draw, we'll say image deer 3 and 470, 380. Now I did forget to resize the deer. So let's say we want him to be maybe a little bit bigger. That one, or even a little bit smaller, it could be the baby bears. So deer 3.resize. We'll make him a little bit smaller than mom, or he'll look like he's a little bit smaller than mom. And then we can run it. And now it looks like we have 2 deer, although I kind of switched those positions. So let's see if this should be 380 and this guy should be 320. And maybe we make the deer a little bit bigger, so it's 60 by 60. Trying to get them close to each other. There. Now they're close to each other. Just a typo. So anyway, that's adding images on top of a background image. and look for other videos on how to make these animals move using vectors. See you next time.